Hey everybody. So we're done with the interior, and I told you I was gonna paint the differential and everything. So I started. I'll show you a couple things, and before you paint. So uh, I got Robert on, so he'll follow me around a little bit. So let me shut the heater off before that kicks on, and hopefully the other one won't kick on. You know what's gonna happen. That one's gonna kick on too. So all you did is take in a wire brush, and you're gonna wire just get rid of all this scaly everything on everything. I pretty much wiped it down a little bit. I didn't go crazy. I'll show you what I mean. That's pretty much what you're gonna do. I took the tires off, so it's easier to get to the axles and around the tie rods, the front end. I checked the front end; it's nice and tight, and the brakes are still good, and all the U-joints are still good. They're all nice and tight. And what I thought was interesting, I always thought this one had more pep than the yellow one. Now I kind of know why. Now it's a four-cylinder, so they gear it down. It's the opposite way. When you say, oh, I got high gears, no, it's the other way. You got low gears. You got 410s in this thing, I think. So let me shut off Robert, and I'll show you why I think. There's a plate on the differential. Let me bring a light to it, and I'll point out. There's a plate right there on a differential right there. If you could see it, there it is. So that on the top number, it says 4.10, 410s. I don't see a point, but that's a 410, and then it gives you an axle number. Right in the center is a Dana, and let me see my glasses. It looks like a Dana, I don't know, it gives you some numbers. A 48669. I don't know what Dana that is. Everybody's like, oh, it's a Dana this, it's a Dana that. I don't know what Dana is. I'll figure it out one day. But right now, it's a Dana. And if you noticed, I have a 3/8 ratchet on there. I basically want to make sure the differentials are full. And once I took the plug out, as you can see, it's dripping fluid, it's full. So I didn't have to even touch this differential at all. But I did notice it had silicone all the way around it, compressed out. It might be stock, it might be oozing out from all the years. So that's how you check your differential. And you just tighten up. It's a 3/8 socket there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. So to get it off though, it was pretty tight. And if you could go struggle yourself, or you could do it my way. I'll show you what I do. And you're gonna have to clean this off before you paint it. Just maybe run some brake clean or something down it, or else that paint more in here to oil. So what I do on these, where's it going to? Oh, you have a 3/8 ratchet, and you never have enough leverage. It's so small. So all I did was put a 3/8 on there, like that. Something simple. Just took a straight pipe. Doesn't even have to be that strong, and crack, no problem. Come right off, no problem. So that's the differential. That's it. There's not much to do other than check the oil and check the U-joints. You check the U-joints by just rotating them on the sides here. U-joint in here, it's usually they're solid. Oops, I dropped that. So usually this U-joint is a solid joint, and it's solid as can be. Let me see if I put a light in there. And basically all you're gonna do is try to wiggle it. If it's loose, it's bad. Not hard to figure out, it's bad. So you're gonna grab the stick. You can see it if you try to move it. There is no grease fitting in this U-joints. Let me see if I can make sure there's no grease fittings in there. There is no grease fitting in a solid U-joint, probably 30-something years old. So this one's solid as fine. You could check the other one, and this joint on this side, there is also no grease fitting. sometimes people say, hey, that's a good thing. Sometimes people, that's a bad thing. Well, these look like the original joints, 30-something years old. I go with no grease fittings, solid as can be. And this is going to be the power wheel, I would say. And I can't feel no looseness in there, so you're good. The last thing you're going to be doing, I'm going to show you the opposite side, which I already did, is so your differential is solid. That's it. Look for looseness. There's nothing else to a differential. They're solid. I mean, that's what makes these things so great. So that's solid. Your oil is topped off. Never had to touch it. That's done. Differential's good. You can grease. There's probably a grease on the U-joint in the back. I think I got it in gear. Let me see if I can see a fitting though. Okay, so there is a grease fitting on the U-joint on the back of the front differential. So you just put some grease in that U-joint, and that one's solid too. And there's usually one on the slip joint, which I don't see, and there's one at the other end at the transfer case. Do that. So you have like one. Let me see if I can see the other ones. Where'd I put my flashlight? Oh, I put it on AliExpress. So you got one there. Okay, there's nothing on the slip joint. So you got one here, and then you got usually one at the transfer case. That joint is solid, and there's probably one in there too. So there's two there on the drive shaft, your front drive shaft. And then you got a couple here. You got one on the tie rod. Let's see if you can see it pan it out a little more so you can see more of the differential. You got one on the tie rod. Usually one on top of the ball joint. There's none on the lower ball joints. Kind of silly, but they never go bad. I know. You got one in the drag link, which is the pitman arm. That one should be greased. So on the front end, you got one, two. You got one on the opposite side, tie rod, and for the drag link, that's three. And one on the tie rod, four, and then one on the top right there of the ball joint. You got two upper ball joints, two outer tie rods, one inner tie rod. Actually, two outer tie rods, two tie rod ends on the drag link. So I'm going to grease them all up right now. I started greasing this one, if you noticed. I'll point that out there. If you notice, I grease them until a little red comes out of a cup and it feels full. That's it. It might be snapped, cracked, whatever. Just grease it, be done. Trust me, that grease, a little bit of grease lasts forever. There's nothing else on this thing that's grease. So we're going to grease that up, and we're going to try to finish kind of early in about another 15 minutes. The reason why I took off the wheels is so I can wire wheel this better in here and then just shoot it black. So let's grease it up. That's one done. We'll do the upper ball joint, and you'll see how that one works. I'll grease it till it comes out. And that's pretty much all you do is a grease. If you have a grease gun from anywhere, you can do it, no problem. Now, I'm not going to lower it on the lift. It'd be a lot easier. And like I said before, I told you that blower would go on. Let me show you. Alright, that blower is off. So the grease fitting on the top, I have a flexible hose. Clean off the fitting a little bit. Push some grease in. You'll see the cup expand. That's enough. Just have it expand a little bit. Don't blow it out. Now you go over to the tie rod in the middle. Right up here is that's the pitman arm. Here's your pitman arm. So when you lift these things, a lot of people don't understand. After you lift them, You usually drop your pitman arm, whatever lift you put. So 4-inch lift, 4-inch drop down. And that'll lower the steering back to the normal angle. And then you're not going to get that death wobble like everybody gets because he didn't lift it correctly. So there you go. That one came out. That one's done. We got the outer tie rods. Let's go to the other side. And you got your one drag link I did. You got this one here. You got your tie rod. Oh, you see that one? I usually clean them off. Just trying to show you how I do it. That's it. I felt the cup go up a little bit. It'll give you a nice, this tie rod looks like it's been replaced. It's too shiny. So the front end was nice and tight. You got grease coming out. That's it. Get the last one ball joint. That one's not going in. Sometimes you gotta take it on and off a couple times to get that needle to work a little better in there. There's like a little ball, check ball. A ball joint. There you go. There you go. See, it came out the top. I don't know if you could see it, but the grease came out the top of the ball joint right there. You can see it here. If you scan in, watch the videos. So your tie rods are done. That one took a lot. Oh, came out the back. It wasn't taking a lot, it was just oozing out the sides. Okay, so that's all there is to it. That's a whole grease end front end. Now a lot of people, most cars nowadays don't even have grease fittings. They're solid. 35 years old, I only see one part changed. I don't know, you tell me what's better. I say that's better. One tie rod, 35 years old. I think that's pretty damn good. So I'll put away my tools a little bit. Let me just show you a glance at the brakes now. Before I finish this up, let me turn the radio down because it's always too loud. I don't know why. Let me put this on my bench. And when I did one last thing. Well, there's a couple of. There's always going to be one last thing, right? Let me put my pipe away. I hope nobody saw me put my pipe away. So, 2 or 3 more little things, and then we're done. So the brakes, they're not like, it's not like mad science. The problem is people wear out the pads, keep going, and then that's a big brake job. Now, mostly it's just pads, shoes on this one. So within here, you have a solid pad, right? This is the outer backing material. You got the friction material within here that wears out. That's it. You keep this friction material up and your brakes can last forever. This is your rotor. It's a pop-off rotor, 1, 2, 3. Your caliper and your hose assembly. And that's pretty much it. The pads were good on this one. I'll try, let me get a flashlight in there and you can see what I'm talking about. And then you'll know when somebody else shows you at another shop, you're like, oh, what are you talking about? Well, I keep losing my flashlight, but I keep putting it on the leaf springs. So, let me see if I can get you a really good shot there. Now you can see in the caliper itself, here's the caliper, it'll grab. What it'll do is grab like a hand and grab that rotor which stops the vehicle. So in here is the pad material. You got metal, friction material that wears out, and then the backing of the pad. That's it. So this little spot and then this little spot is all that needs to be good. That's it. This will look clean up nice and you'll be amazed. So this whole system is working. Mostly the pins seize up. That's what I find out a lot. And a lot of times, just change the damn caliper. I mean, you can play around. I've done it in videos before, and the problem is on the older ones, not exactly everything's perfect. Then it seizes up on you, and then you're gonna feel like you're having dragging brakes, which you will have dragging brakes. So pretty much, if the wheel spins, it's got to be in gear. So that's it. Wheel spins, you're good. The other wheel spins, that's good. If you really want to go crazy, you push. I put a screwdriver within here and pry back the pan a little bit, and then you'll know if your caliper's going. Pump the brake a couple times. It'll touch this a little bit. You know your caliper's on. And what happens is on a caliper, it actually pulls back just a little bit so you don't get drag on your rotors. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna grease the U-joint in the front. Let's show you that one. Kind of showing you a lot of little everywhere today. But within here is the grease fitting for the U-joint. Right there. Let's pop some grease in there. So, if you can get it in there. Some of these are hard to, oh, that one already good. Yeah, put it back on the freaking thing again. There you go. You can actually hear it. You can hear the caps fill up and they'll crackle a little bit. Once they crackle a little bit, you're done. Don't overdo it, you're just wasting the grease. And you're just wasting your time, because then it makes a mess. And then as soon as it starts spinning, the grease, red grease, or whatever you want to use, I use lithium grease. It's like a waterproof grease. That's done. Your front end is done. Your differential is solid. Now you're just going to clean it up and paint it. The activator, I had problems with the other one. This one's still good. This activator is still good on this side for your four-wheel drive. The vacuum, the wires are good. The vacuum is good. The heat shield is still solid, and the wiring is good. Only one thing on this differential is the vent tube is pretty cracked up a little bit. You should change that. You probably should just change the hose. And basically all it is a rubber hose that goes straight up as high as possible with a either check valve or a vent to vent it up. So when you're going underwater, this doesn't get water into the differential, but the differential still breathes a little bit while you're going down the road. So that's a lot of math. That's a lot to know in one little session there. And these things are solid front leaf springs and rears. You never really see these go bad. Unless you break a spring, inspect them a little bit, you'll see a crack on a spring. I tell you, I've replaced some springs that are like 5 times big. The springs, this got 4 in here. My plow Jeep got like 5 or 6. It's got a little heavier of a spring, and then the U-bolt's got to go a little bit bigger because it got to be longer for the weight of the plow, so you can put a little more pressure on there. The shocks are pretty good on this, and the back shocks are pretty good. I am going to lower this because one of the plates is slipping out on me. Let me lower this. I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to lower it. I'm going to put the tire back on. I'm just not liking that right back there right now. Bye.